Course. I appreciate you having me. I appreciate doing this. Yeah.
Dude, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to
This
Be
is
Human, you know?
yes. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I like, yeah, I absolutely hate mornings. Like
Yeah.
right now more than ever. Like my brain doesn't turn on until like 2 or like 3. Like
It just feels like it takes a long time to get it started
yeah,
going.
seriously. Like I just don't get in the swing of things for like much anything mentally.
Yeah. Do you feel like
And
that's more recent?
yeah, I would
Yeah.
say maybe like last like couple years.
Yeah.
Like maybe last like in the last year for sure. Maybe in the
Yeah.
last couple years. And it might just be a byproduct of just the things I like doing all happen at night. Like I like playing lots of poker. Like that happens at
Right.
night, right? Like I like going to concerts, those go late,
Right.
right? I was taking comedy class for a while, right? And trying to hit up a bunch of open mics. That happens late,
Right.
right? And so it's just everything is late. I just operate on a late schedule now and kind of fine with it. Like I don't mind like staying late and working late
Right.
because like then because when I'm like working late, like I'm actually working, right? My brain's
When
actually
also like you
on.
said, like it takes a while to get going, but once you
Yeah.
get going, you're good,
Right.
right? Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So then
Exactly.
you almost like in my I remember I used to like, have a hard time like ending my day because it was kind of similar for me. Like once I finally did get going, once I kind of got my mood up and I got my energy up, it was like I don't want to go sleep because it's like I knew I was not to
Yeah.
repeat it tomorrow. So even then, you kind of tend to like want to stay up later and shit
Right.
too, right?
So, and I know there's like all kinds of stuff like documented. It's like you're at your worst from like 2 to 4 p.m.
I think it
Now,
depends on the person. I
it
don't know.
absolutely
Yeah,
depends
yeah.
on the
There's
person.
apparently like
Yeah.
3 or 4 or probably more different like profiles. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like this one, I was watching this one podcast with this sleep doctor, and there was like the wolf, there's the bear, there's the dolphin, there's certain people who, I think it was only like 4 or 5 different profile types, and you basically did like a little questionnaire. It kind of told you which one you fit in. What it was saying was that we all have a chronotype. That's what the word is.
Okay.
So, which I think is scientific. I don't know, but it was talking about chronotypes, and we all have a specific chronotype, and that is actually like, so certain people are going to be most creative and productive and efficient from like 10 a.m. to noon. Other people is going from like 2 to 4. Some people it might be from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. at night. You know what I mean? Like it's just different from different people. And so I think like, I think just in general, I don't think we are all exactly the same. So I think finding like
Right.
what's your productivity window is fine.
Yeah, I'm a bat, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, yeah, it's like just like late at night is when I thrive.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's just like it never goes too late for me, right? The only time anything goes too late is because I have to do something in the morning,
Right. I
right?
feel that.
And if I have to do something in the morning, it's because some morning person is summoning me.
Somebody else made a
Yeah,
plan and
some morning
invited
people.
you.
Because that's very like self-aware of you. I don't think
Right.
morning people have like any kind of self-awareness, like
Right.
whatsoever. Like morning people are just like so like one-sided and just like, hey, like respond to me now. Like we need this right now in the morning. And like I'm not here. I'm not with it. But like morning people are like tapped out at like 7 p.m. They're like,
I'm honestly more of a morning person. If I love the nighttime because since I was younger, I felt like nighttime is when like I feel like free to do whatever I want to do. I also feel like my emotions become more like artistic. So if I'm trying to
okay,
like write something or I want that's when I feel like I channel something in a different way. Like the
yeah,
energy feels different for me. But also I feel like everybody else is asleep, so no one cares what you do. You know, like
exactly.
because I
Yeah,
have this thing I
exactly.
have to be productive till like 5 p.m. every day, and it's if I don't, then I feel anxious. So it's like so once I'm in the evening time, my little boss turns off in my brain. It's like you can do whatever you want now. And so
Yeah.
yeah, for me, I enjoy the late nights because of that. But no,
I
most of the time, dude, I feel most I think it's I don't know, I think it's how I was raised, but I have this, like, thing in my head, I have to be productive from, like, 9 to 5. So as long as I do that,
right.
I feel okay, but if I'm not productive during those times, then I kinda get a little weird. But then I like it because then I'm done with my day by
For
whatever
sure,
time.
and it's
But I
super
wanna go to
fair.
bed at 8 p.m. on
Okay,
Tuesday, and
gotcha.
that's where the problem
Yeah,
comes in.
got it. Yeah, and as long that's great, and that sounds like a very great and very healthy way to live. That's very conducive to society.
It's
But
just what
like
works for me, but,
for
like,
sure,
it's
but
certainly not
also like
everybody.
there's morning people who just like put it in your face,
Right. They
right?
they wake up peppy.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, and like I don't know if you've seen the meme that's just like, hey, nighttime people getting home late at night, and it's like Bart Simpson, and he's just like trying to sneak throughout the house as like
Right,
El
right.
Barto.
But the
And
morning
it's
people
like
are just
morning
like
people, it's like Bart with like a pot over his head, just being like bang, 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 bang.
there
Like,
is some level of I don't know about entitlement, but like I'm right because I'm getting up with the sun. Like I think there is. I think there's a
exactly.
mentality that comes
Seriously,
along.
just a
Okay,
superiority.
because
Like,
like biologically, you think of like this is why I was like kind of hesitating with the whole chronotype thing because like I don't know. I'm not no scientist. This is just my speculation. But like, what makes sense to me is that your body would be wired to wake up when it got bright outside and wind down when it gets dark outside. So it makes sense to me that like we should in general be productive from the days it's from the time it's sunny outside to the time that and then when it's dark, that's when you should be tired and go to sleep. So there might be some, I don't know, maybe evolution over time. We've created these different chronotypes or whatever, but I feel like it makes sense to me. So I admit I do have maybe a bit of a chip on my shoulder, like, I'm the one waking up early with the sun. You early bird, he's an early bird to get we
right,
even have these
yeah.
sayings like it, you know what I mean? So you feel kind of like this little pride that, we're better. We're better than you night owls.
It seriously is. Like, it's seriously like society has been built on that.
Right.
Like,
Even in pop culture, the night is when that's when sinning happens, you know?
yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, hey, like it's where you can do shit and go crazy because it's dark out and no one can see you.
Right, right. No, I definitely like it either way, but
Is your girlfriend right
mhm.
now, Gabby,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I met her on Friday. She's really pretty, man.
Yeah, you met her
Yeah.
briefly at the ramen spot one time
Okay.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta I
And then you
haven't
had the
got to
show the
talk
other
to her
day.
like either times. Would
Both
love
but
to
see,
meet
both
her.
times it was, like, real brief,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, yeah, we've been dating for, a little 6, almost coming up on 7 months
Oh,
now.
good for you.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Nice.
been it's been going really well.
Yeah.
Very, very
Nice.
happy about
Nice.
it,
I'm
yeah.
I'm very happy for you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
It's
About
I think it's been a long time coming, for sure.
Nice. Okay. Love
Yeah,
to hear it. I'll
yeah.
drink to that,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, absolutely.
Is she a morning person?
She's not.
Color me shocked.
Yeah, it's funny, like, I don't think I've ever dated somebody that liked getting up early like me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I
I
definitely
feel like most people don't like getting up early. I don't think that's, like, a common thing.
it's like I don't okay. I'm convinced nobody likes getting up early. And like another thing I think
Okay,
mornings
I don't like getting up early, but I end up feeling better. I get because it's like you say, like I don't normally want. I've gotten better when I've noticed. So this last week, I started wearing a Whoop, which is like a big
oh,
tracker thing,
cool,
and
yeah.
so I was just like, let's like go hardcore for a week and let's be real disciplined and just see what happens. So I was in bed within like 10 to 11 p.m. every night and up around 7 to 8 every morning. So I've never been intentionally consistent with a bedtime for like a week straight like that and a discipline kind of manner. Maybe I've done it on accident, but anyway, I woke up with good energy. I actually found it was a lot easier to kinda get up, like, I didn't have to because I feel like in the past I've struggled with that a lot where I'll wake up and it's like, "I don't wanna be here. Why do I have to wake up?" You know what I mean? Like, and then after a couple hours, after some coffee, after kinda moving my body, especially something after the gym, then I suddenly kinda feel like, "Okay, now I feel more and more like myself as the
Mhm.
day goes on."
So sorry, tell me, it's called a Whoop?
Yeah, it's called a Whoop. It's like,
Okay.
have you ever like the Oros or
For
whatever?
sure. So does it track? It
Yeah, so
tracks? Does it tell you to do stuff?
yeah, so this is like I think
Oh,
this is the
what
most like this is the one that is the most comprehensive, I believe, and it's like a coach. So I got it for like the free 30-day trial because I don't know that I actually
interesting.
need this much information, but it
Yeah.
tells you a lot about all your vitals and how your body's performing, how you're sleeping, how you're recovering based on how hard you're pushing yourself during the day. But then it can go deeper because it's like an AI assistant built in the app. And so you can it can basically tell you like how to work out and it'll
Yeah.
tell you like because it's watching your heart rate. So be like, hey, you need to push harder to reach this threshold, to reach this goal, to have the better HRV. It's like
Interesting. Okay,
it gets into it,
interesting.
yeah.
I bet you I'm very interested in trying something like that, especially because I just have like a pretty fucked up sleep schedule right now.
I say even if you're not trying to actually use it to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna follow a schedule now,"
Mhm.
at least you can track it so that way on a day you feel a certain type of way, you're like, "Why do I feel this way?" You can look at your
I could go
signs
for
and kinda
something
get
like
like
that.
so it's
Yeah.
interesting for me, for example, after a week straight of being real disciplined, it's showing my sleep consistency, my recovery rating, my strain rating from the days, and then I was real steady going doing green, and then how my sleep was after Molly was very so
Yeah.
you can literally see the actual, like, see the actual data to support, "Okay, yeah, Molly disrupted my sleep because X, Y, Z."
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like I knew it was going to, but it was interesting to get to see, like, the way my heart rate changed, how I didn't like, for example, normally when I'm sleeping at the right time, I'm getting, like, 4 hours of restorative sleep, so that's, like, at the, like, REM sleep, that's, like, the lower waves or whatever,
Right.
and, I've noticed after smoking weed, drinking, or Molly, or mixing, or one or the other, even just one of them, any of those 3 things, I get 2 versus 4 hours of that restorative sleep.
Whoa.
So, like, you end up feeling a little bit more tired than like, you might
Yeah.
but I still get the same amount of hours of sleep, but most of it I spend in a higher heart rate, I guess, like, I don't fall into that deeper rest for as long. So, it's interesting to be able to
That is interesting. How
have
much
the
was
data
it?
to show it. So, again, the free trial, it costs, like, $8 for them to ship it to me, you just have to
Yeah.
pay shipping.
Okay.
But then you pay basically, like, $250 or $300 per year. It's like an
Per
annual
year.
membership,
Okay.
and I
That's
don't think you really it seems like the price of the device doesn't really matter, you're basically paying for that
mhm.
subscription.
Color me intrigued.
Yeah,
Do you
I have a link, I'll send you a link, I'm
Yeah.
not affiliated with it, but I'll send you a link to it, and then I think if you sign up through, we both get, like, a month free.
Use code Josh for 20% off.
Yeah, right. That's whoop.com/Josh. No. Soon we'll get the affiliations. I haven't honestly even started looking into that, and, like, obviously I need to figure that out because
Yeah.
I want this to be able to generate money so that way I can focus more time onto it,
For
you know what I
sure.
mean? But at the
And
same time, I don't wanna, like I need to I don't know, I fucked it up with photography, trying to turn that into a business too quick.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
as
tell me
opposed to
more.
I mean, it was just something I started out doing because I enjoyed it, and I just carried my camera with me everywhere because I wanted to take pictures of stuff, and I wanted to edit the pictures, and it was fun to me, and then trying to turn it into a business. And then also I feel like it was Instagram because, I mean, Instagram is what made me interested in photography to begin with because I started Instagram back in 2013. That was the first time having, like, filters and stuff like that, as well as, like, a photo focused platform. And, yeah, so I got into it through that, and I just enjoyed it, and then it slowly became trying to take the right pictures that would get the most amount of likes,
Oh, gotcha.
or only shooting things for money and getting angry if people didn't pay me money. And, so, like, there's the joy kinda sapped out of it over time,
Yeah.
and also, like, it was try multiple I would quit all my jobs, start photography full time, do it for, like, 6 months, got tired, burnt out, stopped, got a job for a while, and then I did that, like, 3 times, and the 3rd time was going really, really well, and then COVID hit, like, 2 weeks after, so I went to Champs Vegas, which was, like, a big weed convention, and I was, like, networking really well, had all these contracts kinda starting with all these companies, and, like, 2 weeks later, everything started shutting
So
down.
brutal.
So after that, I'd have never really felt inspired to really
Yeah.
push into it as a business since then, but
Sucks.
yeah. I would like to get back into it, but it killed my, like, joy of even shooting for a while.
That's cool. Like I respect a lot of photographers. Like my brother, he was professional photographer for a while, and both him and his wife, they are like professional level. They absolutely know what they're doing. It's such an interesting art to like learn about,
Yeah,
like because we all take pictures. Everybody takes pictures, right? But also just like learning, like, hey, like this is what makes this a good picture. This is why you like it,
sure.
right? And being like, hey, like this, like covering the face, or just like even stuff like, hey, like these like leaves. Like I just went to Peru
Yeah.
and they they had there was like a I went on this like cruise with my dad,
Mhm.
and there was a professional photographer there who was on like just like a lot of the excursions with us, and
Right. It's like
like
a cruise around Peru or
no, it was like through the Amazon. So it
wait,
was
on the river or
on the
like
river, yeah, on the
dude,
Amazon
so you're just
River,
in the
yeah.
jungle.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
so dope. That
it
sounds
was tight.
awesome,
It was
dude.
pretty
You
like
downplayed what that was at first. I'm
yeah,
like, "Oh, yeah,
I was
cool,
like, what do
bougie
I say?
cruise, whatever."
No,
No, dude,
all
you're in
right.
the
Well,
jungle. Shit,
since we're
yeah.
here, it was a National Geographic expedition.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
it
amazing.
was pretty sweet, and it was really good to just it was really
What
great.
was, like, a highlight from that?
Dude, the sloth is my new favorite. The sloth is my absolute new favorite animal. I'm just like so fascinated by this thing that like it sleeps 18 hours a day,
For
right?
real?
Yeah, they sleep 15 to 18 hours a day. They live on the tops of trees. They just eat leaves,
Mhm.
right? And somehow like there's predators out the ass,
Right,
right? It's the jungle.
right.
There's predators everywhere. Somehow they're not just surviving but thriving.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they're, like, doing very well
Moving
for
like
themselves.
sloth.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, like, it is and it is something is animal named after a deadly sin, and, like, it like
That is crazy.
yeah, and it's like, it should have been eaten up in whole, like, a long time ago. Now it's like, that is
And they have
my
such a cute face.
yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, like, well,
Yeah.
gotcha, like, depending how you look at it, like, I mean, a lot of people say, like, they're ugly as hell, and I can see that, like, I
He's
think
got a
they're
little smile and, like, he
exactly.
looks like a stoner buddy, like, he looks
Exactly,
so chill and
exactly.
happy.
Yeah, exactly. My dad didn't think so. I think that
Yeah.
explains a lot why, right? Like, didn't like that. My dad is the consummate morning person. It's
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
He's real, like, conscientious, more, like, disciplined,
Yes,
structured.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Real quick on the sloths, you know about their, like, symbiotic thing with, like, the moths?
oh yeah,
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 yeah, yeah, yeah.
for sure.
Or I think it was, like, or maybe it's more than that, but there's, like, I think there's a specific fungi or plant or something that only grows in their shit, and this moth only eats this stuff that grows in the shit.
Got
So
you.
they sit up in the trees and they shit, and then it grows this thing that then feeds something else, and they're, like, fully dependent on each other, you know what
Right,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I think that's
Or
close.
something I think I
No,
might be messing
yeah.
it up, but it's
I think
something
there's
like
like a
that.
bird involved somewhere
Maybe,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah. You know what I'm
I
talking about,
was
though,
yeah,
kinda. It's
yeah,
pretty
for
cool,
sure.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um But, it was that's my new spirit animal. Like,
Sloth.
it's so inspirational.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's my king of the jungle.
When I was in Costa Rica, Gabby and I were in Costa Rica, like, last week of February, and
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
that was
Okay,
the one thing I'm
cool.
sad I
Is that
didn't see was any sloths. I saw anteaters,
oh, cool. Okay.
which that was weird, because it's climbing in a tree, looks kinda like a
Yeah.
sloth.
And no, I
Kinda not
listened I
ready.
listened to your last episode, like, talked about it. What with what's his name?
Stacy,
And he's from Costa Rica.
he's from Brazil.
Okay, my
Yeah,
bad,
yeah,
my
yeah,
bad.
no, no, no,
If
all
he's
good, all
listening,
good.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize that, but that was like a cool conversation.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man, I'm glad you
But,
enjoyed it.
yeah. So
Yeah, this one's, like, number,
I think
I
five.
think I
It
think
took a
number 5. I mean, I've recorded a few other ones,
oh,
but I
cool.
think it'll be
Okay.
number yeah, probably number
Gotcha.
5 that's uploaded, because I intend at some point to upload the other ones, but kinda what I did was I was like, "Dude, you just gotta." I procrastinated for so long, man, like, I wanted to do this right,
Mhm, sounded like it, yeah.
I had lofty goals, and I want it to be bigger than it is right now, and so and one of my weaknesses is over planning without executing, you know what I mean? And so something I'm trying to practice more is, like, more execution, less planning, figure things out as you go, like, that's, this quote I keep, I tell myself every day is, like, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." So, or like the journey with 1,000 miles starts with the first step. There's all the variations of it. But so yeah, I recorded a few conversations, and I honestly just I think the thing I've been pickiest with it is I know to make it engaging, and also especially to have clips for, like, online social medias. One, you need to have good enough video just for the clips. For the long form, most people are going to listen more than they watch probably, but,
Mhm.
like, for the clips, you need good video. You need something that can jump camera angles. So that was kind of like I was like, I
Oh,
only have one camera really
yeah.
that I can use. I have other cameras, but they're not good enough for the long form video. But I did finally learn, um, using, like, CapCut, how I can create different angles from one shot. I just need to make sure I shoot in 4K, which normally you don't need it, but shoot in highest detail.
Yeah.
This is my first time with this setup in
Oh,
general. I
cool,
just got
okay.
these lights in, so I was like, decided to pick this corner, and I just kind of
Yeah.
put it together to see how it goes. I'm
It
still
looks
experimenting.
good. Like,
Yeah.
it looks really, really good. Like,
Oh
I was
yeah.
very, very, very impressed, like, with just, like, how, like, clean it is, and I think, like, the angle that you got is just,
Sick,
like,
dude.
absolutely perfect, and,
Thanks,
like,
man.
if, like, I don't know if it's, like, that's, like, the thing is, like, just always have, like, this angle, maybe it always at a different spot, maybe,
So the goal is to have that one, but then also there would be a camera roughly where that light is, and then there would be, I think, like, another camera over near there, but angled at me. So we'd have a shot of you, a shot of me, and then a wide shot. That's, like, the end goal, so I would like to have 3 cameras, but I think with the better lighting, I can comfortably crop in on the video enough to where I can create those shots, and I can just copy the film strip or whatever, and then I just jump from which one I want to look at.
yeah.
I did it a little bit already with that one with
Yeah, yeah.
Stacy. So yeah, now that's making me a little more comfortable to push on because, like, first of all, I recorded the first several and I just, like, sat on them because I have to edit them. I have to do something.
Yeah.
First, it's like finally I was like, dude, fuck it. And so I just, like, just published one of them which has gotten the least like amount of interaction, but that's fine. Like it's kind of the early days. A lot of it was too just getting reps in and me trying to practice,
For sure,
you know.
yeah, for sure. I like that you're doing it. Honestly, like the biggest thing, I didn't realize that you shot this from the phone.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah,
not realize that. I was expecting this. I was very surprised to see phone there.
yeah.
Like I was fully expecting it to be like camera. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. It keeps it pretty simple, man. Yeah, and I think that I've honestly, I mean, that's one of the beauties of being this age is like the power of the iPhone is just as good camera as
Yeah,
anything else you really need,
seriously.
you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like started photography because of an iPod Touch, and then I had like an iPhone, but they weren't better than a DSLR. But I remember when it was like the iPhone 7, I think was like it could shoot in 4K in video, and that was like the
Okay.
first time I was like, "Oh shit, this is better than my camera's gonna do all day." And so,
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah, anyway, that was an interesting kind of time.
Did you buy one
Camera?
like an iPhone 7?
Yeah, I had an
Is
iPhone
that
7 at the
okay?
time. Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
For a long time, I had the newest camera all the way up, or iPhone all the way up until the X. Or no, I think I had like the 7 Pro Max, like
Mhm.
the biggest one, and then I didn't get the 8. We skipped 9, I got the X. Basically, every major update or upgrade, when it went
Yeah.
from no button to, like, full screen to that's when I would upgrade. The different camera, then I would upgrade, but I haven't been doing every single one.
And also, it feels like now they're not changing, like, not as much
Lately,
as
yeah.
yeah, I was
There
like,
hasn't
they're
been much
switching
push. Yeah.
a little
Like,
bit
I got
more.
this was, like, the 16 or something. I got it because it was AI focused and all this.
You're
And
just like, "No."
no, I still just use ChatGPT the same way I've always used it. Like, it did the phone didn't really change anything for me. Now, it just recently Siri did start kinda integrating with ChatGPT.
Okay.
I haven't, like, given enough time to figure out how to use it, I guess, to its
Yeah.
max potential.
I like how much you use it, like,
A lot.
like, we yeah, for sure, like, we've talked about it, like, a few times, do you remember that time, like, you were on that drive back to Au from Austin?
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that
yeah.
thing? Like,
I
and it
took a
was like,
picture of
"What?"
that,
Yeah, do
yeah.
you remember? I was like, what is this
It was
thing?"
like
And, like
it looked I mean, that's what it looked like to me, it was some sort of Tesla ball.
yeah,
Yeah, sitting up in, like, some field driving back from Austin, and, yeah, I posted it on my story.
that was
It's like, "Anybody know what this is?" And you, like, screenshot ChatGPT, and I was like,
I I
I
didn't
didn't even
even
realize I could do
screenshot it,
that."
right? I didn't even screenshot it. I just described it. I just
Right,
described it.
you're
I
right,
just
you're
like,
right, you're
"Hey,"
right.
I'm like, I don't know if, like, you couldn't put pictures in back then. This was,
Right, you did
like,
just
more than a
describe
year and
it.
a half ago, and I just described it. I was like, "I'm driving back from Austin. There's this weird looking, small, electric looking tower with, like, a dome on it. Looks like a Tesla
Right,
coil or something
right.
called Tesla. What is this?"
Yeah.
And it was just, like, on the spot. I was like, "I don't remember." It was like, "Oh, you're probably thinking,"
It's
and it was
funny
like
how
it was
far
like
we've
this
come from AI
project.
since then, though. Because like, back then, that was I mean,
Seriously.
I think I'm still learning, but, like and I think I'm behind, but then I tell people stuff like this,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Oh, I" they're like, "I
It's
never use it."
wild,
They
yeah.
most people, they might use it like a search engine, but they have no idea, like, how to use it.
Yeah,
They
seriously.
wouldn't think you can ask it something so vague like that, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
And it's like a lot of people have a lot of pride. Like I literally work in tech. I
Yeah, yeah,
work
yeah.
for a tech company, which shall remain nameless. But like it is wild, like how many people don't touch it, like
Mhm.
haven't gravitated towards it, and just like avoided it for whatever reason. And I can kind of get it because there is absolutely a learning curve, right? And you have a job,
Yeah,
you're doing it your way, but like it blows my mind. Like it is at this point, it is way too powerful to
yeah,
ignore,
yeah,
and it's something and you do you, but I'm absolutely gravitating towards it. I'm trying to, learn about it as much as I can, cast a wide net, and just like see like, hey, what can this thing do, and what can this do for me?
yeah.
And
Right,
yeah,
right.
each day, like it blows my mind a little more.
I've been using it heavy since I think I first was, like, using it to help me write corporate emails and shit back in October 2024. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
was using it daily, like, October 2024, pretty much, which and that wasn't that early, but I think that was around the time when ChatGPT really started, like,
yeah.
being able to do crazy shit, and, uh oh, I totally forgot what I was about to say about that, but what I feel a low level panic of, like, realizing how important it is, how powerful it is, and how inevitable it is, and how the best thing you can do is just try to learn to fucking ride the bull because, like, the bull's here and it's not going anywhere. You know what
I
I mean?
like that. I'm
So,
stealing that. I'm
like,
so stealing that.
go for it, man. Like, it's
Like,
for me, it's a slight terror. It's like, oh my god, like I could if I don't jump on this and figure out as much as I can now, I'm gonna look up in 5 years and realize how behind I am, and that's where I kind of feel for other people. I'm like, how do y'all not feel that too?
Like,
This is will separate the can do from the people that basically, like, I feel like in many ways the highly agentic people from kind of NPCs. Like, this is I mean, this is one of many tools. I mean, they're already seeing that divide, I think, more and more, just technology in general. But like, dude, I saw this clip today. It was from like Alex Jones and Joe Rogan back like this is like 10 years ago, I think, or something. It's like one of those whole, I don't know if you've ever seen it, where Alex Jones is going crazy. This is before he like got lost the whatever the fuck publication that
okay,
he,
yeah, yeah,
but he's basically saying that like the global elites have this master plan to take the hive mind and funnel into kind of one, like to learn the hive mind so well that it can now predict the current, the past, and the future hive mind, and then inject like stimulus to manipulate and direct it in the way you want it to go, because you know what the outcomes will be. Because if you know all the algorithms of what everything people want, then you can give them what they want in the way to get them to want what you want. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it was just I was just heard saw that clip today. I was like, oh shit, like that is kind of what this, because we are now literally feeding it all this information.
yeah.
It's just it's a giant sponge. It's
Seriously,
absorbing. It's
like,
going to
I
just get
mean,
better and better and
seriously,
better and
and
better.
yeah, and it's incredibly bleak to think about, like, hey, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Right.
It's probably gonna be worse than that, but also, like, it's very like incredibly like just disruptive, like novel, like innovative. It's insane, like what it is, like how it exists
Right.
now, and like what was thought to even be possible 5 years ago.
Right.
Right? It's don't ask me why, but I was like watching a Harry Potter clip on YouTube, and like
Mhm.
one thing was like Chamber of Secrets, Tom Riddell's diary, right? Did
I'm
you
not
ever
super
hit?
familiar. No, I'm not
Oh,
gonna be
okay, got
familiar.
you.
So you're
Okay,
telling
got
me
you.
the story.
So yeah, so Lord Voldemort,
Right.
right? When he was like a
He's like a
human.
Sith Lord.
Yeah, exactly. But he came from somewhere, right? He had his Anakin face, right? And
Okay.
when he had that, his name was Tom Riddell.
Okay.
Um, or sorry, Tom Revell.
He was like a teacher, professor, or something.
No, no, he was just a student. He was just a student. He had Muggles for parents. Like he had,
Okay.
he was a Muggle born. And he had this like diary, and that diary got passed on eventually to like Ginny Weasley and then to Harry.
Mhm.
And Harry just like wrote stuff in there. It was just
Mhm.
like, "Hi, my name is Harry Potter,"
Yeah.
and then the text disappears, and then text comes back is like, "Hi, Harry, my name's Tom."
Okay.
Right, and he talks to him
Okay.
about it.
Through the journal.
Honestly, this should get talked about a little more, because it was with Ginny Weasley, who was, who is,
Ronald's sister or
yeah,
something?
Ron's sister,
Okay.
like, Harry's best friend's, younger sister.
Mhm.
She was a first year at Hogwarts, and she, like, got the diary from Lucius Malfoy, and then she was writing in it, and that eventually brainwashed her, and got control of her, and
Mm.
got her to open up the Chamber of Secrets.
Mhm.
And the Chamber of Secrets held this animal called a basilisk, which was, I'll cut to the chase, which was left there by like a founder of Hogwarts that got exiled,
Right.
and he left the basilisk there to go after impure students, Muggle-born students. Right? This founder wanted students of
And
pure.
muggles are the lower income. They're the
No, 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 they're the non-wizards. They're
okay.
the non-wizards, but for some reason, there's some kind of mutation that there's some muggles that have kids that do have magic blood,
Okay.
and somehow Hogwarts flags them down and invites them to Hogwarts.
Right, but in a sense, like, representing, I guess, real society, muggles are like the lower class. Like,
Mm.
they're you guys are not cool. Like, you're
Exactly,
not
yeah,
special. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah, okay.
They're yeah, for sure. They're like, I don't even know, like, worse than lower count class. Like, you're just like not having wizarding ability means like you're
Okay.
just not part of the
Okay. You're
conversation, not part of
nothing.
the
You're nothing.
society,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm gonna come back to that. Like, I'm gonna come back to that as, I've I kind of just assume everybody's a Potterhead because I grew up like in that prime time.
At
But
the time, I was not allowed. I grew up very Christian religious, and so
really,
yeah, my mom has since changed her mind about a lot of things, but
yeah,
back then she wasn't comfortable with
what?
us like dealing with wizardry. Lord of the Rings was okay because I think it was more directly biblically linked. But I mean,
Okay,
the crazy thing is like all these stories, they are like they're all similar. All these stories, superheroes, wizards, whatever, they all
yeah.
carry this hero arc with the villain, and they all have similar like what's the word, like tropes or like uh
Christ-like figure,
sure. I mean, there's
right?
the
Like
Christ-like figure. There's a
something like
similar
that.
story
Like,
that's trying
yeah.
to teach a similar message, like
I don't read a lot of
religion
books
does, but
already. Like I'm not very like I'm not a well-read person. Like
yeah,
I've told people many times over like I suck at books.
right,
Like don't ever recommend a book to me.
right,
Like it's
right.
not gonna get read. Like
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair.
Um,
I used to read a ton when I was a kid, but I've only just now getting started getting back
oh,
into it.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Like, are you into like? Do you actually sit down and read books? You and audiobooks?
So far, so I not audiobooks, not really, because if I listen, it's just the podcast usually.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I intentionally want something that'll make me slow down and practice my focus and like
Good for you.
attention span and shit like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, but the problem is that like I only read like deeper self-help type shit. I need to like reignite my interest into just fiction so I can have something I read just for fun.
Yeah.
But the struggle of wanting to be better means it's like hard to do anything that doesn't become productive in some
For
manner,
sure.
but,
Yeah. What was the last fiction book you like tried to read? Was there something?
there's this one that I think I found in an abandoned building. It's
Okay.
some sci-fi book. I've read, like, the first little bit of it. This I remember it starts out, they're, like, archaeologists digging on some planet, and they're trying to uncover some ancient something, and then the storm comes, and I don't really remember the significance, like, what's the plot? But,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, though I probably 6 to 12 months ago, I was trying to read it
Okay,
by
yeah,
accident.
and it's like it's kinda hard, like,
Yeah.
it's kinda hard, like, sometimes and, like, look, there's some people who, like, absolutely love it, and I would love to love it too, like, because I mean, there's some really, like, tremendous stories
I used to
out
love
there.
reading, like, Celtic lore, like dragons and stuff like that,
Okay.
like Aragon. I love the Aragon series, and there's some other, like, Celtic lore type books that I love reading about, like, King Arthur, medieval shit,
Okay,
fantasy, I
sick,
guess.
yeah,
Fantasy and
yeah.
sci-fi was kinda my niche that I liked a lot, but and I like it because I mean if you again, it's like it's been so long, but I remember when I would read a lot, my imagination, I was there. Like I was so locked into what was happening on this page. Like my mind was, visualizing everything and like creating the scene to the best that it could, to where you could probably come up and scare me if I was like really engaged. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I remember like why I enjoyed it. It was because the imagination would like aid and like, be a big part of it.
right.
But
I've
it requires a lot
always
of presence. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I think it's
For
difficult to
sure,
be
like, a
still
lot
and
of
quiet
commitment
now.
seriously, like, to just sit down like, I like, people who read books are superheroes
Yeah.
in my mind, like, so most women, but, like, seriously, just to, like, sit down and, like, read a book and,
Right.
like, just actually read it, like, I don't do that, I don't know what that looks like to do,
Right.
it's that's a lot, right, to, like, ignore, like
Well, we can segue here because something that you do know how to do it with is poker tournaments.
yes,
You've been on a
for
fucking
sure,
streak lately,
fair
dude,
enough.
crushing these final
Yes.
tables. Um, I so I've been playing a lot of poker. I really
When did
only
you start? Yeah.
like August 2024. I feel like was
Okay,
when
got
I
you, and I
really first
met you
started
very
playing.
shortly
I
after.
think around that time.
Okay, I
Yeah,
met you end of
yeah,
2020.
because it was like my first year of
Yeah,
playing when
I
I
met
met
you, like,
you.
right around that time.
It
Okay,
was it was
yeah.
it was yeah, it was right around that. It wasn't not too far from then. And yeah, so I've been grinding a lot of I play a lot of online. I probably play more
Okay, that's
online than
cool,
live
yeah.
because I struggle with live having that attention like
Ah,
span,
okay.
and I don't know, I just end up making mistakes versus like my best trick for doing the live tournaments is play real serious, real locked in, but as soon as you kind of catch up a bit, I need to start halfway playing because if I focus too much on each hand, I end up
Yeah.
doing more. I end up
Ah,
doing too much. You know what I mean? Because a
okay.
lot of times, if you build up a stack, it's time to just chill. Only play super premium
Right.
hands. Um, but yeah, so tell me about poker. Like, what got you into poker?
Got it. Okay, so, this is about, like, 10 years ago. So
Hmm.
I'm, 10 years, now like I guess 11th year into poker. I'm from Wyoming,
Mhm.
and I really liked chess.
Okay.
Didn't have anybody to play chess with, but I did have some friends who played poker. So my last year of school got into it and got really into it. For me, there was like kind of something that just clicked with it. Poker is like just a really fascinating game. I was always like pretty averse to it because I was like, oh, there's like so much luck involved. Like,
Mhm.
what's the point? Right? But then like when you learn like, oh no, there's like a tremendous amount of luck, but there's also a tremendous amount of skill,
Right.
right? And like chess is a game, no luck, high skill, but like poker's a game, high luck, high skill.
Right.
And
Kinda
there's
combines the best of both worlds.
yeah, exactly. And it's like there was something about that that was really fascinating to me. And even I thought like something like just like life decisions, like it is like so much in life is just like high luck and high skill,
Yeah. I
right?
I 100% agree.
And there's so much about luck that trumps skill,
Yeah.
but you do have to like put in like you do have to have the skill,
Yeah.
right? To be able to you have to have the skill to be able to put yourself in those good situations,
Right.
right? At the same time, the opposite is also true that you like can just make like some of the dumbest decisions ever, but you just find your place in the right time place at the right time and you just get stupid lucky. Like
Yeah.
and it's
True.
like and
You
one
could you could have done everything wrong up to that point and still get
yes.
lucky. Yeah.
And exactly. And like one of the biggest things is that it's hard to distinguish the two.
Yeah.
It is just like it's not obvious
Distinguish the two.
like between luck and skill,
Yeah.
right? Back to poker or even like with life, like how do you know a decision that you made was really because of skill
Mhm.
and not luck,
Right.
right? And there's so many decisions that we make that seem like skillful. I was like, yeah, I was, like traffic is a good example, right? It's like, yeah, it's like something I like, just went home, like
Right.
was able to like, just like weave through traffic. How much is like you just hit every green light,
Right.
right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and people misjudge both like so much, right? Everybody thinks that they're much unluckier than they probably actually are.
Mm.
Everybody thinks that they're much more skilled than they probably actually are, right? And maybe the reverse is true.
Which is funny because I think also at the same time we are our brain psychologically optimized for positive. So like we typically remember the good more than we remember the bad.
Oh, I don't know if I agree with that at all.
You don't?
I don't. Like, I mean, it's like
Maybe I'm incorrectly
have you heard
saying
the
that,
term
but
like negativity bias,
okay, so
right?
I was thinking the opposite. Maybe it's
Maybe that, like,
negativity, not
and
a
look, like maybe,
positivity
hey,
bias.
maybe that's, and look, it might explain a lot
Yeah,
about
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Like, you are just like a
Well,
very
I'm thinking like
positive,
I guess
like
the
good
specific
spirited
example would be
person.
like in a relationship. After you break up with a very toxic ex, you somehow only remember the good parts and you miss those parts. And it's hard to remember, okay, now there was a reason that didn't work. There was a lot of toxic shit. And so in that scenario, I think people often, that's one example where I think people do often find themselves with a positivity bias in, I guess, relationships. But in poker too, I guess I think in poker and gambling too, because I
With
think
money, right? It's like, I mean, if there's like a meme and it's just like, I don't understand how people come to a casino and lose thousands of dollars. Like, I lost $20 at the slot machine. I'm ready to burn this place to the ground.
well, see, and that's my I think that's my idea is because I've heard from multiple people that are like, yeah, I go to the casino play slots. I'm like, why would you play slots? How have
Seriously,
you ever
yeah.
enjoyed that? They're like, have you ever won? I'm like, no. They're like, the first time I sat down, I won $2,000. I'm like, oh, well, if the first time I sat down, I made 2 grand. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Is I think that you have a when you playing poker or gambling in general, you get lucky, or even with skill, and then let's say when I first started playing, I feel like a lot of new people when they first start playing poker, that's when they get a lot of lucky hands because they don't really know what they're doing.
Right.
So they're playing a lot of dumb shit, but they happen to just do it at the right time. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
and I think that I don't know. That's where the positive because I think if you why do people end up going down in the negative so much? Like you don't track your wins and losses. I think okay, I'll speak for myself personally. When I don't track my wins and losses, I tend to think, oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm up. And then I'll really pause and start doing some math. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm really far down
10
right
million
now.
percent.
But
Yeah.
but for some reason, my brain is only remembering those nice nights, those good
Yeah.
hands, and I'm assuming that those made up
You
for.
are just a positive person because it is something that's like when you lose like a bunch, like if you like, just go play 1-2, like, at the card house, right? If you lose $1,000, that stings so much more than if you win $1,000.
True.
Like, it's pretty sweet winning
Yeah.
$1,000, but if you lose $1,000 in one day,
Yeah.
that's like, fuck,
It
right?
hurts. It
It
hurts.
really,
Yeah.
that
It'll
stings,
sour
that's
my
something you
mood for
remember.
sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, who got you into poker?
Caleb.
Got it, okay,
Yeah,
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 what a
which is
guy.
he's who
Oh my
introduced
gosh,
us.
what a
Yeah, yeah,
guy,
yeah.
like, I mean, yeah.
He's a huge advocate for it for
Yeah.
sure. He's gotten a lot of people into it, I would say.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
absolutely has, and I love the way, like, he, like, just does it and conducts himself. It's something when I met him, it was, like, right after a Tool concert,
Mhm.
and it was, like, a couple days after, and he was, like, wearing a band shirt, and he's just like, "What is that band?" He's like, "Oh, it's called Bench Press."
Uh-huh.
I'd never heard I still haven't listened to the band, but he's like, "It's called Bench Press." And it's just like, what kind of music?" He's like, "Oh, no, it's like a hard, really hard rock." I was like, "Were you at Tool on Friday?" And he was just like,
I was at that show,
"Bro,
dude. That
yeah.
was
Oh, that's
amazing.
right. I think,
That
yeah,
was
yeah."
dope. Yeah.
It was sick. Like, yeah,
Actually
it
through
was
another guy through poker is how I got to that show.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick. It's like the mob. Like,
Yeah.
but it's something. I'm a Caleb like figure. Also, I've gotten a lot of people
Sure.
into poker who haven't, who wouldn't have, and I've, there's some of my close friends who have become much better players than I have.
Right.
Who really have. It's pretty fascinating how just like so many people love it, and some people are like just kind of terrible. Some people are like pretty bad, but still love it. Still keep showing up, and sorry if that's like kind of a coarse thing or a pretty harsh thing to
Not at
say,
all. I
but
mean,
like
but that,
is
well, so I guess I've got several questions, but we can start
yeah.
with this one. Like, why do you think most people play poker? Do you think it's for the money? Because I'm similar to you. Like
Mhm.
what really dragged me. I got into okay. So like when I started playing poker, I was like I won like $400 my very first cash game playing. Caleb invited me to this home game. It was at
Yeah.
his it was at
Okay,
his
yeah.
his complex or whatever. It was like
Yeah.
maybe 7, 8 handed, and I won like $400.
It was just
First
like
time playing since I was like 14 years old, right? So I had some experience playing online on this mini clip Governor of
mm,
Poker game, if you're ever familiar with that. And so I understood the game, but like I didn't know like the deep strategies or anything like that. And so, yeah, so I started off with a win, which back to my positivity bias. Okay, yeah, that got me hooked. Now I want to play because I'm going to remember that I can make money with this game. The more I got into it, the more I learned about it, the more I was like, oh, this isn't gambling. I mean, it is. And to summarize, I think what you were saying earlier, it's, it is gambling, but it's skill, and the combination of the two is essentially you skillfully are putting yourself in the right
yeah.
position to get lucky at the right time, and choosing when do I want to try to get lucky and when am I okay with letting. Because there's all the times you fold the hand and you flop, yeah, you fold 3-7 and the board comes 3-7-7. You're like, yeah, whatever. Like you had top, great hand there, but
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? You folded the right hand. You know what I mean? So there's times you let go. Then there's other times you got ace queen suited and you decide to play that hand and then you hit ace queen. Okay, that was the right time to put yourself in the position to hit that fucking monster hand or whatever.
Right.
But so that really intrigued me because I felt like I could learn a lot about it. I don't know. I feel like it helps a lot with just my making my decisions about
Yeah, I
life.
completely agree. Like, it's just everything is a decision. Like, it's decision after decision after
Right.
decision, and
And it's
it's
gambling too.
it absolutely is gambling. Like, it
Every time you
absolutely
technically
is.
drive
Like,
your car, there's the gamble that
I
something could go wrong.
yeah, I couldn't agree with everything's gambling. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, one of the biggest, like the stock market. Like, the
Mhm.
stock market is so gambling. Like, the
Right.
stock market is a video
More and
game.
more so now with
Yeah,
so many ways, derivatives, futures, perpetuals,
for sure. But
and
even
making it
just
more and more accessible.
yeah, but even just blanket, like,
Yeah.
putting money into the S&P, which
Yeah.
so they say the tried and true, right? That still is gambling. Like, yeah, for sure, it has a demonstrated long-term return, but that still is,
So it's a skillful
like
position to
yeah,
get lucky in the right place because
exactly.
there's the data to back it up. So it's like, yeah, you're still getting lucky, but you're more likely to keep getting lucky here. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. And I'm not gonna say something's more gambling or less gambling. I say maybe something has more risk
Mhm.
or less risk, right? But, like, everything's gambling from the slot machine all the way to, like, driving your car
Right.
or just, like, I've just, like, anything, like, which even, like, what you're gonna eat at
Yeah.
night.
True.
Like, you really can make it that granular, and it is something you make these decisions, like, time and time again, but even in a single hand, like, these decisions, like, compound. right?
Mhm.
And, over one hand, like 4 rounds of betting. And then, those decisions on each round of betting like compound. And then you're doing like
So you're
thousands
telling a
or
story.
tens of, yeah, exactly.
You're
You're doing
building a
tens of
story.
thousands of those hands like in a year,
Mhm.
or just like hundreds of those hands in a single tournament.
Right.
And yeah, it's, there's a tremendous amount of skill,
What's the
tremendous amount of money.
highest you've, placed, I guess, in, like, a tournament?
Gosh, I've never won like a big field tournament.
Okay.
The highest I placed was third
Mhm.
in a tournament of like 400 people.
Okay.
That was a month ago.
Nice.
That was pretty cool.
3rd place is
Yeah,
solid,
it
though.
was it was pretty sick, and just like, to overcome 400, 400 people, like,
And
and
that's probably your best,
no, there was one. I've been on a little bit of a run. 2 weeks prior to that, I played like a multi-day
mhm.
and made the final table of that. And that was for a
So
bunch.
that was 2 or 3 days of playing to get to the final
It
table.
was it was yeah, I guess it was two like full like days.
So 1
Uh
full day of playing to get to the next day and then playing that full day, ending
right.
on the final table and busting.
Yep. Yeah. And that was the biggest score. We're talking thousands of dollars here, and,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so it was two of those, and those were the two, like, it was just two back-to-back tournaments that I played,
Right.
and I haven't played a tournament since. And I played a tournament on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Ended up going on another deep run. Ended up finishing 12th out of 300
Fuck
people.
yeah.
And honestly, this one of all three, I felt by far like the best about like how I played.
Right.
Like,
You felt like you
and
made each decision
yeah, I felt,
correctly.
yeah. A big part about going on a big tournament run is like you do just have to get lucky,
Mhm.
right? You do just have to, like, a lot of it is just like having a really really good hand, a great hand against a good hand,
Right.
right? And
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, but so you can hit aces as many times as you want, but when you gotta hit aces against a guy that has kings or
right.
something to really, like, get big profit.
Yeah, or just, like, getting a flush against a guy who has aces,
Right. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Something like
Right,
that,
right,
like,
right. True.
it's hard to get aces, it's harder to make a flush.
Right.
So, a lot of it like that. This one, there wasn't really any moment like that. It was about just staying, like, cool and collected. It was, like, 9 hours.
Mhm.
Um, it was 9 hours, and there weren't really that many, like, that big of hands. It was just a matter of just, like,
Not a lot of adrenaline spikes. You
Ye
felt pretty steady.
for sure, and
Yeah.
even with, I'm much better about that now, just, like, when getting up to, like, a big stack,
Mhm.
just being like, "Hey, like, be cool. We're just renting these chips.
Right.
You still, these are tournament chips. You still have to give them back at the end
Right,
of the
right,
night, no
right,
matter what,
right,
right?
right.
And unless you win this thing, you are gonna get eliminated." So, like, I'm very much very cool and very level-headed with that, and also, like, when you go down,
Yeah.
right? It's also something not letting that get to you, being like, "Hey, like, this is the situation we're in. Last hand is history." The only thing to take away is just, like, remembering how the players played, but,
Right,
like, hey, we're on to the next hand.
right.
And
No, that makes sense.
yeah.
Hey, I've got a follow-up question, but I need to go to the restroom real quick. You
Okay,
don't mind if we pause
cool.
for a
I'm
second?
gonna get more whiskey. Do you want more? Yeah. Fight, man.
Oh, yeah. Do you like what's going this bar?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like this stuff. What is it?
Oh, it's Scotch. Yeah, it's called
Bowmore. All
something
right.
like that. Like, it's Scottish, right?
Cool,
It's like
cool.
it's never pronounced as a.
I like it. I don't drink a lot of scotch,
Oh, okay.
but this one's nice. Like I feel like scotches tend to have this like weird sourness that I don't quite vibe with too much. This one has a bit more of a smooth. Like, cause I think you're the one put me onto Knob Creek, were you not? Or was it or
Yeah,
I think it was you, like, I really enjoyed that, like, it's real kinda smooth, not like a heavy bite to it, you know?
right.
Yeah, definitely enjoy that, man. Cheers.
Cheers, dude.
Alright, so we're talking about the tournament, dude, can I hit your guy? Is that nicotine? Hell yeah.
I know you mostly play cash. You saying you play online is very interesting. Just because like in general, online is much tougher than live.
I think it's solely for my own, psyche because the things you're saying, I in general, in all parts of life, I have a problem with recursion.
Tell me more.
Building a narrative about somebody and playing out a whole story in my head when nothing has really happened yet, and then suddenly perceiving a situation as such because I can't help but have this curiosity about why do we do what we do, what does this mean, and also I mean we're predictive machines. We're trying to do that to
For
protect ourselves,
sure.
right? And so I have a hard time getting not letting people get in my head, right? So at the poker table, it's like, do they really have that? They're just fucking with me. And then I have this whole, oh, they don't believe me because this, like I build this the whole throughout the whole game. I'm building this like idea of what kind of person I think they are.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's an asshole. He's playing like a dick because he's shoving on me all the time. Maybe he just actually has good hands every time, but I'm creating this narrative in my head, and I feel like it's easier for me online to settle that and to not get so versus like in person. I think I have like social anxiety too. Like it's harder for me
Okay.
to like
Yeah.
not it's harder for me to regulate, I guess, when I'm
Gosh.
at a
No, for
table of
sure.
people.
It is. It
I can
is.
regulate at home on my couch much easier.
Yeah. And honestly, like it took me like several years, like just and to not be kind of a nervous wreck
Right,
like when I was at the poker table, like to be like kind of comfortable and also like very present.
and not be reactive.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, my
It's
first
like
couple years.
a dude might not even be talking to me, might not be doing anything to me, but it could bother me, and then it gets in my head, and then I'm thinking about, "This guy's so fucking annoying, da 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 da," and it ruins and I'm like and then next time he does a show, I'm like, "I'm gonna teach him a lesson," and, it creates this, you start playing emotionally and reactive
Yeah.
instead of
And a lot of people do. And like I tell a lot of people it's kind of mind blowing, like how bad the player pool is. And when I say bad, like just like fundamentally bad, like
Mhm.
bad fundamentals, and how many people, especially in this town, are just willing to throw around just like these ridiculous amounts of money. I'm over
Yeah.
here like, are we playing for the same currency over
Yeah,
here?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
See,
and
that's why playing like shuffle is frustrating me because I'll go in and I'll have like king queen. Some dude calls me with 3-7 suited and he hits, and I'm just like, and he calls a $20 pre-flop bet. It's like, dude, what? You're 3-7 suited. Like, I don't care. In what world does this make sense? You know?
right, but still, like you should be welcome to that. Right? That's something you want that.
Yeah.
You want people who are playing fundamentally. Now it's annoying. Of course it's annoying, right? It's annoying when somebody like plays the 9-5 and then flops 9-9-5, right?
Hmm.
It's very annoying, but it is like that's the game you want to be in.
Mm.
And that has to be the game you want to be in. And some people say like, I wish people folded more. I was like, no, you don't. You really don't,
I
because
guess
like
that's true.
in poker, like you make your money.
Online, people fold a lot.
Exactly, and that's like a little bit why like they're better in poker. You make your money off your good hands.
Mm.
You make the money. You make the most money off of
I don't.
your good hands.
I don't make the most money off aces. I make the most money off 7-5 suited.
Okay, well, fair, and that's there's a reason for that though,
Sneaking the
right?
monster
That's
hands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because they say like so
Your
7.
ace king is maybe I think it's because it's long game. Statistically speaking, you should make the most maybe with ace king or aces, but your biggest pot is not going to come from aces. Most likely, it's going
Exactly,
to come from something else.
exactly.
Maybe long term you make the most with that, but
Right.
in
So
spikes.
yes, so they say like hands like that, like 7-6 suited
Hmm.
or like pocket fours, right?
Right.
Um, those are hands that they say it flops well.
Hmm.
And when I read my first poker book, they're like pocket fours is a hand that flops well. And I was like, what does that mean? Like it flops well. Well, what it means is the flop comes out. You deal the first 3 cards. The flop comes out, and you immediately know whether you have a good hand or not. Right.
There's no reason to play speculative on from there
Right.
unless it's a weak C bet, and you're like, you know what, fuck it, let's do one more card.
Yeah, exactly. Even then, like, you could comfortably fold, right? It's
Right,
like, I'm
right,
not
right,
willing to
right.
stand up
Yeah,
to
yeah,
3
yeah.
streets with this dumb hand, like, just
Right.
fold and move
If
on,
you don't
right?
get it on the flop,
Yeah.
there's rare that it's worth chasing further. Yeah.
Exactly. Like 7-6 suited is like a great hand because like you like can oftentimes like flop a flush draw or
Mm-hmm.
flop a straight draw, right? Or flop both. And now you have a great hand to bluff with,
Yeah.
right? And you have a license to fire like with a hand like that.
Yeah.
Whereas what people get wrong a lot is like weak aces. So like ace deuce, ace
Mm-hmm.
three, ace four off, ace six off, right? Ace six off is one of the worst hands
Mm.
for like a nine-handed table. And that's because you're really just trying to hit that ace. And then the ace comes, and that's a scary card, right? Somebody with jacks isn't going to want to put in a lot of money, which is what you're trying to go after, right?
Mm.
Somebody with king queen definitely doesn't want to put in a
Mm.
lot of money with that. And then when you do flop an ace, right? Like somebody who has ace 10, ace jack or better is going to make a big pot off of you. So
Yeah.
it's kind of the opposite
Yeah.
with that you will, before with pocket fours, you're either going to lose a small pot or win a big one. But with a hand like ace six, you're either going to lose a big one or win a small one.
That's something I think I'm just now starting to get better at
Okay.
thinking about is like, you need to, before you make a bet, needing to know, okay, making this bet, what hands am I trying to scare away right now?
Right. Yeah.
And then think of what hands will not be scared away from. And you're right, with a6, if a hand is not scared away with your a6, depends on the bet sizing and depends on the players you're up against. Because sometimes you just got dudes that are wild that'll call you down for no reason.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, like what you're saying on a reasonable table, yeah. If I have a6 and I bet and somebody calls me, I'm scared now because there was already an ace out there. They should have respected that. If they didn't, that means they probably got a better kicker than my six.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you know about position?
So I mean, that's coming down back to and I wish we need to come up with a quote for it, but like being skillful to be lucky,
Yeah.
being skillful to put yourself in position to be lucky. So the button is the time that you can play more hands to try to get lucky. That's when you don't really want to play 7-6 suited in any position, maybe except the button. Like that, I think that's one position that you can pretty readily defend
For
why you
sure.
would play 6-7 on suited on the button because it's your last person to act, you get to see the. So I mean, for those that know how poker works, you got a small blind, a big blind. Betting goes around, ends at the big blind who can check or bet, or if he just has to call a raise prior to him, whatever. But basically, it comes down to after the flop, the button gets to be last to act, so they can. Many times in poker too, I mean, you're not even playing the card, you're literally just playing the position. Like people check to you, you bet, just you could have dog shit. But if there's
Yeah.
only two people, they're probably gonna fold and you just could take away this little pot. Like sometimes you're not even I don't even think I barely think of that. It's a bluff, but I barely think of that as a bluff. Like that's kind of fundamental, right?
No,
Sometimes
absolutely. Well,
it's what you're supposed to do. No matter what hand you have, you should go ahead and raise if everybody
yeah,
checks.
it's something. It gives you the reason position is like so important is it gives you flexibility. I've heard the
Mm-hmm.
term optionality
Mm-hmm.
before, right? It's something. If you have a good hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have like a really great hand, if you have like three of a kind on the river, and then you're in position. So say you bet. Right now, I have a chance to raise.
Mm-hmm.
We just had 3 rounds of betting beforehand. You made the fourth, round
Mm-hmm.
of betting. Now I got to make sure a fifth bet
Right.
gets in,
Right.
right?
Right.
That gives you the option to do that. And then also, if you've got a bluff or if you got a bad hand and you check to me, you look weak. Now I can turn that into a bluff,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Right.
It gives you options. Whereas, you know, the person who's out of position, the person who has to go first. They don't really know where they're at. They don't really know what they're
Right.
doing. They don't really know what the next guy can do. But the next guy has options,
Right. Right.
right?
Right. Right.
And it is the biggest deal of all time. And I think
It's like fighting from the top of the hill versus fighting from the bottom of the hill. On the button, you're fighting from the top of the hill. You kind
I
of
like that. I
have
like
the
that a lot.
advantage.
Yeah.
You have a better vantage point. You can kind of see everything else.
I like that a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah. That's stealing that too. Stealing a lot of things. Yeah. It's dope.
Curious. I guess just like a straight like tactic when you play tournaments. How would you most differentiate playing tournaments from cash? And I'm mostly curious about the beginning of a tournament. Like, are you going to play a tournament looser in the beginning when the blinds are smaller because you
Mhm.
can afford to maybe lose a couple more pots because they're not going to be as big, and you're kind of trying to get a stack in before things get busy, or are you going to play each hand tight until you get a big pot and then decide to maybe loosen up a little bit, or
Yeah.
like
This is
what is your strategy?
this is a good a great a fantastic topic. So like cash games where I started, where I, spent, I've been playing poker for about 10 years. I've got 10 years of experience in cash games. Like it's, really where I've spent a lot of time. And it is, I think like it is pretty like fundamental. I've always called it, people they explain to people as like cowboy poker, that like each dollar on the table is cold hard cash. Each
Mm,
chip on the table is cold hard cash, right?
mhm.
Um what's This is a little long-winded, but we should get this clarified. So like in a cash game, you can come in, you buy in, you sit down, and you can cash out whenever you want,
Right,
right? You're allowed to, win like 3 pots all in, and then you can just up and leave,
right.
right? You People are gonna call you an ass.
You can play one hand and lose $5 and you can leave. You can
Right,
play one hand, win $100 and leave.
right.
Yeah.
A tournament is like completely different. Tournaments, what you see on TV, tournaments where most people are familiar with, in that when you lose all your chips, you get eliminated,
Mhm,
right? If you lose all your chips in a cash game, you can always buy back in. You
mhm.
will always be given an opportunity to buy back in. And sometimes you're able to buy back in for more than what you had, like, right? But in a tournament, once you're out, you're out.
I think that's also an important distinction, is that in a tournament, most people you're generally starting on the same playing field. At a cash game, somebody could buy in for 500, I could buy in for $100, and we're still playing on the same table.
I got you.
So a
That's a
tournament
good
is
one.
you
Yeah.
start. It's more of a level playing field. Everybody's going to start at the same point. I mean, there's some variation, that dealer bonus appreciation, whatever, but generally you're all starting on the same level playing
Yeah,
field.
for
I think
sure.
at big level tournaments, there's no bonuses. Everybody starts at the same.
Definitely, yeah. Everyone starts
You
at
have
the
the same
same
opportunity. It's only up to your skill and luck
right,
to
yeah.
move on.
So the same starting stack. So, um back to the original question, like I've always done cash games. It's just like the most accessible. They've got games 24/7 here. You can always go to a
Mhm,
game. Tournaments are at designated times, right?
mhm.
And also like in a cash game, because you can just get up and leave. You can always book a profit and just walk out,
Right.
right? But a tournament like plays down to 15% of the field before people start getting
It's
paid.
essentially last man standing, but you can get paid once a certain point.
Right. And
Yeah,
also like the money jumps like go up like,
yeah.
almost exponentially, that like the money is really concentrated up top. There might be, in the last tournament I played, 300 people.
Mhm,
First place was 13,000,
mhm.
right? And the total prize pool for it was 60,000. So like that's more
Top
than
like 9 people
20%.
paid or
Yeah.
something?
Right. 300 people, but like first place was more than 20%
Right.
of the pot, like
Yeah.
of that, right? And
And in smaller tournaments, it's like upwards of 40% sometimes of the pot goes to first place.
maybe about that. But
Those are
yeah,
the
something like
ones I
that,
play
yeah.
online, when it's like
Okay.
30, 40
Oh, yeah,
entries,
where it's like only like
usually you're
3
getting like
people.
40%
Yeah,
of the
for
pot in those
sure.
cases, yeah.
So it's like that. So that's like a whole another dynamic to navigate,
Mhm.
right? Um Also this whole idea of like blinds going up is another thing to navigate. Whereas in a cash game, the blinds are always the same. Like I don't know, gold standard, but like the Dallas like Cadillac is 1-2 poker,
Right,
right? Where it's like a $300 buy-in and the blinds are $1 and $2. You Costs you $3 every round, and that never changes,
right,
right? In a tournament, the blinds are always going up every
right.
20 minutes, every 30 minutes, what have you.
So
And that
slowly the pressure builds to win a pot, basically, because
yeah,
eventually you have to put in money. You have to put in a minimum of money anytime you want to play a pot. Yeah, yeah.
right. Because when
If
the
you really want to understand poker, you're gonna have to watch a YouTube video, but we're explaining the best
yeah, for
we can.
sure. So with me, like I thought tournaments in the last year, I've made like an effort to just go play more tournaments, because
Mhm.
even though it is much harder to make money, and
And like you
it
said, it's like 9 hours
it's
is like,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It's a
it's
grind.
it's
It's
all day.
grueling.
It's a job.
But it's I had so much more fun.
Yeah.
Like, so much more fun. Like, I love poker, like, more
Mhm.
than anything, and, like, it's, like, 5 times more fun at least, right? Even when you lose, like, it's still, like,
It's a
exciting.
little dopamine drip machine, man,
Yeah,
you
it
know what I
really
mean? If
is,
you
it
play
really
it
is,
right.
yeah, and I never said I was above that whatsoever,
Sure,
like,
sure,
yeah.
sure.
So, I just had more fun with it, and really like took it like on myself to like just go out there and just like play more and just
Mhm.
like fire and just like try to try to keep it try to make a big score.
Do you think you play it more, um I mean, I can ask you the broad question, why do you think you play poker? But do you think you play poker more to win money or more because you enjoy the numbers game of it? Because
Okay.
I've played with some people where they're like, yeah, I like to try new things. Like they know the statistics and they just want to try the variations. Like what frequency I'd play this hand in this position, and this is what the book says. But let me tweak it this one time and do some dumb shit, and just
Yeah.
they're somehow keeping a fucking tally in their head, and I guess I don't know. That's the impression I've been given. I don't know what's actually going on in their heads,
So
but then other people like me, I play more for like the intuitive side of things. Like the more I play, the more obviously I learn the fundamental and the basics.
yeah.
But overall, I feel like I'm more playing for the unexpected. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I get bored if I just do the same shit for hours and hours and hours. I want to play a few wild hands to see some. I want to feel my heart rate pump. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
I
For
want to get a
sure.
couple of lucky hands. You know what I mean? Because they make the game more exciting for me personally.
It
Other people, I think people literally just play because they enjoy the feeling of losing, whether or not they realize it.
seriously,
So,
like, those
like,
people exist, like, those people are out there, like,
yeah.
and, like, it's wild. I mean, and, I think maybe, like, the first 5 years,
Mhm.
COVID was a real delineating point because, like, up until COVID, I took the game, like, way too seriously, took the money way too seriously,
Yeah.
was just, like,
How do you
sunglasses and
mean
headphones.
seriously? Oh,
Oh, like,
yeah, yeah.
sunglasses and headphones, everyone's an enemy,
Okay.
and, like, I just didn't have, like, any poker friends because
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to make poker
Yeah.
friends. It was,
That's how I
trying to
feel
make
going to the card houses, to be honest. Like,
it's
because I'm trying so hard to like lock in my game that I think everybody's an enemy, and that's why I create this narrative. And then I finally get to talk to someone. I'm like, "It's a nice guy." I was over in my head making this guy a fucking villain.
yeah.
So let's be real. I shuffle. Some of those dudes look like the fucking villains
Oh
from
my
like Home
god.
Alone or something. I'm like, y'all could
Seriously.
totally be a villain somewhere, but
Seriously, like, I mean, some people,
they probably are.
oh, yeah, no, that's
It
another thing,
attracts.
yeah, there's
It's attracting all types of people.
yeah, there was, like, one time I was, like, in an underground game, and there was a guy, his name's Daniel, and I was like, "Hey, like, where you from?" And he's just like, "No, I'm from here." So, I did go away for a little while, was in prison, and the dealer was like, "That's an important clarification right there."
I'm t shit, I'm one of the guys from my home game, he went to jail. Yeah,
You meet a
or
lot of
prison or
those
whatever.
people. Like, there, and you hear stories. I've never had, like, a horrific story like that, and it is just such a great hobby that, like, you're able to go basically 24/7, or when there's a big tournament, you're able to go there, and there's people from all kinds of walks of life
Mhm.
who you would just never, like, interact with, talk to, hang out. Like I said, the first few years, I took it way too seriously. I'm complete opposite over
Right.
here. I'm, like, drinking, like, during I'm one of people rarely drink, like,
Yeah, 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 people you
these,
used I think back in the day, poker, cocaine, and alcohol was a big part
for
of the
sure,
game, but
absolutely,
now it's,
yeah.
like, more frowned upon to be get too wild and crazy unless that's, like, the game, but yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people are more like, no, real militant almost about it, yeah.
And it's like, I was like, I love to like just buy people a beer,
Yeah,
right? Be like, hey, can I buy you a beer? Like, and people were like, no, you don't have to do that. I was like, no, I would love to, man. Like,
right.
I'd love to buy you a beer. And you meet so many people. It's how I met Caleb. Like, I guarantee you, like, before COVID, I would not have met Caleb and not have like been friends with him at all. And there's probably a lot of people, like a lot of connections that I might have missed.
Dude, I've met all kinds of interesting characters from playing poker. I mean, I
Me
met
too.
you, um, the guy that got me to the Tool concert that one time. Last time I was at Shuffle, this guy had apparently just bought a truckload of raspberries that are going bad in 2 days, was trying to sell them to anybody at the table. Like literally fucking raspberries, just
Yeah.
like met this real old French guy, but he, didn't look like much, but he's a black belt in fucking karate or something. Like, yeah, you meet all kinds of
Yeah.
interesting people in poker. A lot of intelligent people too, which is interesting. I think it attracts a lot of bright minds and troubled souls.
For sure,
I think some of both,
and
yeah,
both, right?
both
Just
at
like
the
about
same
a lot of
time.
rebellious people, right?
Hmm.
And fair enough. Like, I mean, I don't know anything else that's like 24 hours a day you can go play,
Yeah,
right? And so I've leveraged that like immensely. Like, there's like been nights in Vegas where I just didn't get a hotel,
yeah. You
right?
just
It's
kept
like,
playing.
yeah, for sure, I'll get a 6 a.m. flight,
Right.
and I'm fine. And I actually, the last 2 times I did that in February, I did that in January. It
Yeah.
was like, I almost missed the flight both times.
So with 10 years of playing, what are your tricks to regulating yourself? Because for those that aren't familiar with poker, it is a roller coaster of emotions, whether cash or tournaments. Especially tournaments, there's oftentimes in a
Yeah.
tournament, you know, you start at 10,000 chips, you could be all the way down to 1,000 chips, all the way up to 20,000 chips, and then back down to 7,000 chips. And that is a emotional roller coaster. You get this euphoria down to like this crushing misery, back to euphoric like
Yeah.
high. So it's like being able to regulate and manage the spikes and the troughs of emotion is really important to surviving long terms in a tournament. So I guess I'm curious both. We'll start with the loss because I think that's a little more interesting. But like
Yeah.
when you just start catching bad hands, how do you typically how do you regulate yourself in those situations?
Got you. Yeah. It's something.
You played the hand right. You did everything the way you're
Yeah.
supposed to do it. The luck was not because that's the thing is you can play something textbook perfect. You weren't even risking anything. You were playing it as safe as you could, and somebody got you with a bullshit hand. Nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, it's a great question. So a few things. There's like a few facets to it. It's like something first few years, like I would like tilt out all the time, right? And it was taking it way too seriously. Would always tilt. Some things
What
that like
happened when you tilt?
I it's just like a level of despair. I mean, there's one time I was living in Minnesota. I like yelled at a guy,
Mm.
and I felt terrible about it. Like I went and walked away for a second. I came back and I was like, "Hey man, I'm really sorry. Like I
Like he
shouldn't have
won a
said."
hand, and you were like
He like
you
I had
shouldn't,
aces. He had fours.
and you wanted to talk
I
shit about
like
the four, back to the
5 bet,
fours.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I and, like, I went and walked around, I came back and I told him, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said," and
But heat of the moment, you're
he's
like, you stupid fuck. Why you
yeah,
playing
I was like
fours?
and
Yeah.
yeah, and it was, that's a great example of a hand because it was like that was a player I saw. He was like playing too many hands. He was sticking with too many hands too
Mm-hmm.
long. I was like, that's a really sticky player.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get a hand like aces, and he's gonna be, I'm gonna be able to take his money. And then that exact situation happened. I did not take his money.
Which back to earlier,
He
you said you don't want people to fool more often, but then the problem is that that's like a double-edged
right,
sword because it's like
exactly,
sometimes they just get lucky.
right.
The
So
one time you were like, oh, I'm gonna be patient, I'm gonna take them out. And you got the hand to take him out. He got lucky
for
that
sure,
time.
and he got it, and one part's about being mindful. It's like
Yeah.
something. It's like, hey, like fours against aces is something like 18%,
Right.
right? He got 18% this one time, and
Mhm.
18% happens. It
Mhm.
happens to happen 18% of the time.
3% happens.
Right. It happens 3% of the
Yeah.
time, but it fucking happens,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
A lot of people will be like, hey, like 45%, that means I'm on the wrong side of history. Is like, no, that
Mhm.
means it doesn't. It means you're like practically coin flipping.
Yeah.
And in a way that most human beings wouldn't be able to tell the difference from
Right.
actual coin flip,
Right.
right? So it is something comes with time, comes with volume, is being able to recognize that. Another thing was maybe just not taking it too seriously, right? And being like, hey, like I'm not trying to go pro. I'm not here just for the money. Like this would be a great day if I made a win, but this isn't gonna ruin my life, right? And
So what are
being
you telling yourself before you go into play?
like no, like let's play our game. Play
Mhm.
your game, believe in your game, and like
What I
no,
I guess what is your end goal?
oh,
So you signed up for that tournament the other day. What
oh,
when you why did you sign up for that tournament? What motivated
it's
that?
a good question. Like I just like I told you, I make less money at tournaments, but it's
Mhm.
just more fun,
Hmm.
right? And let's go on a run,
Yeah.
right? And it's like going on a deep tournament run. I've going on a deep tournament run is better than drugs. Like I've said that many
Okay.
times.
So for you it is like the literal it's the challenge that comes from it. It's the chemical release you get from playing the
For
game.
sure,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it is something like, hey, like, going and playing cash game, like, you play cash games a lot, and honestly, it's kind of indistinguishable in the long run, right? But
Mhm.
you play tournament, that's a one-time thing,
Mhm.
and it's kind of a storybook. Like,
Yeah.
how did this story go?
Right.
Um, there's a book there's a book I really like. I don't read many books, but there's one I like a lot. Do you know the name Maria Konnikova?
I don't think so.
Okay, gotcha. She's a fascinating story. She used to be like a writer for The New Yorker, And then she like decided to just one off things like, hey, I want to take up poker. I want to learn professional level poker. And then she like kind of became really good at that. She had a really big pro named Eric Seidel be her
Mhm.
coach,
Okay,
and
I know that name.
got you. And she's become like a very very good pro
Okay.
like on the circuit, and wrote a book about it. And it's she's got in her book she's got like a comparison of cash games to tournaments. She
Right.
says cash games are like War and Peace. And I didn't read War and Peace, but she's like cash games are like War and Peace. It's like, you know what? There's events that are going to happen, and they'll happen when they happen,
Mhm.
and that's how they're supposed to happen. They couldn't have happened any other way. Okay. Tournaments are like Shakespeare. You're three acts in, and 40% of the cast is dead. And I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was like
Is
pretty
that trying to say
telling
because
about it.
people respect the bet sizing generally more often in a tournament?
Oh no, well, in tournaments, people like you're limited, you're out.
Oh,
Right,
okay. Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah,
limited, you're out,
yeah.
right?
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
like when you're done, you have to go home. Like
Yeah.
you have to, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's in
yeah.
a cash game, you can buy back in,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? You could re up on ammo. You can stay as long as you damn well please.
Right.
But in a tournament, like when you know you can have the best hand, you could be a 97% favorite, and you lose to that one outer, and then you have to go home, and like
Right.
you have to drive fucking home,
Right.
right?
Right, right, right.
And um it's something, maybe I like, one thing is over the years I kind of understand both sides of it a little better, and that when you lose, like it's fine, you're supposed to lose, right? Yeah, this is gambling, like you're gonna lose sometimes, and that's fine. I'd say maybe what's maybe a more mature poker player is like when you win, not letting that get to your head.
About to say because it's got to go both ways.
Yeah, for exactly, yeah, exactly, I
If
would
you
say that.
lose, if you lose, so what I'm hearing you say is that when you lose, you essentially you're applying logic and statistics. You're saying, okay, I mean, okay, this is in this scenario, you're losing a hand that you played the right way,
Yeah,
right? You played this hand from the right position based on the strength of your cards, how you should play it, and you lost because somebody got lucky. You're able to kind of tell yourself, okay, logically, I did this right. This wasn't my fault. This was just kind of chance, and it's kind of inevitable to happen. This is why you shouldn't play outside of your
yeah.
bankroll. Whatever your bankroll limit is, you should play within that because this shouldn't affect me.
Yeah. Or on losses. Like even one thing is like, hey, like I got into a big pot with a good player. Right. I mean, this is somebody like who I knew was a good player or I didn't think was a good player.
Mhm.
And he made a great play. Being able to identify that. It
Mhm.
was like, hey, that's a great play.
Right.
Like that's good. And it's like something you get two random cards and I get two random cards. And it's like you're allowed to do whatever you want with those
Yeah.
cards. And it's something it's really tough to see, like it's really tough to kind of deal with and to kind
Yeah.
of gauge, and everyone's going to play a hand their own way, and you have to be prepared for that, and some people just make a play you don't expect, and like
I think if I can use like this analogy, because I feel like this is one of the more frustrating ones. Talking about a loss again. You're driving a nice Lamborghini, right? I come up in my like shitty '99 Corolla, and I'm whipping through traffic being reckless, and I ding the side of your car as I whip past you, and I'm gone. You get there's no repercussions. I don't get any penalty.
right.
Your car has damage and looks bad. Mine doesn't look any fucking different because it was already a hoopty to begin with. So in that moment, you can kind of be like, I think a lot of people can kind of take it personally and be like, what did I do to, I think this is kind of what I'm
Yeah,
trying to get is like, for me personally, the temptation is like I just blame myself. It's like, what did I do to deserve this? I made a dumb mistake. I made a poor decision. I should have avoided this. I should have done X, Y, Z. So this never happened to me. Like this doesn't seem fair. And it becomes a personal story. So I guess like, and yeah, if you're getting losses, like what do you tell yourself? Like like you literally just use logic and you're basically just saying that like,
try to, yeah, it's something. Yeah, it's like, hey, like this is, clearly the read was wrong.
mm-hmm,
If you're, clearly the read was wrong. We're off. Let's regauge. Let's reevaluate. Sometimes you just get outplayed.
right.
Like you just get outplayed. And I was like,
There's
hey,
sometimes
that
you have
guy
a
was
big loss and
good.
you're not
Yeah.
even mad. You're like, oh shit, you got me.
Yeah. In
Yeah, yeah.
December, honestly, in December, I played against a guy who was a pro. I later found that out when I found out his name and looked up his Hendon mob. He's got 600,000 in
Jeez,
caches.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and it's like, okay, yeah, I was like that dude was just good, and I was able to tell he was just good at the time. And like at the time, like I went and got his name
Mhm.
and like talked to him and was like, hey, like, yeah, I didn't say anything about the game, but I said, hey, it was fun playing with you, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it was really fun playing with you because he put me in a lot of tough spots.
Mhm.
And when you play with like a really good player, when you play with a pro, right? It sucks. Like it really sucks. And one thing you should try to avoid getting into pots with them. Like you should, unless you got like a good hand or
Right, right,
but
right.
like you should just avoid it. And sometimes you can't avoid it. And sometimes they come into the pot and sometimes they come in the pot because you're in it. And
Yeah,
you don't know,
yeah,
like you just don't know, right?
yeah.
With a good player, like a good player is good at disguising the strength of your hand and putting you in tough spots.
Right.
And it's a lot of times if I make a big bluff and there's a guy with like, a guy with top pair
Mhm.
who just like squimmed and he squirmed and he took like 3 minutes and somebody called the clock on him and then he found the call. It's like, look, I can't do
You're
better than
not
that.
upset.
That was a great,
Yeah,
that was a great play.
yeah,
Like I got, almost got
yeah.
him to fold like a good hand. And I like definitely have the wherewithal to be able to withstand something
And well,
like
and
that.
those are one of those situations in that, like when you just mentioned, where like you're building a story that entire game, whether it's a cash game or a tournament, from the moment you started playing with this player where they could see you, you are building up sort of this history, hand history in your mind of each player you're playing with. I mean, the more, I guess, it depends on people's memorization ability, but more or less, you're building up a profile on each player you're up
Yeah.
against, and over time, so especially deep in a tournament, that if he can make that call, that's because he built a good profile on you. He started
Yeah.
seeing what hands you could play, which hands you didn't
For
play, and he
sure.
kind of was able to
It's
like.
it's what good players do.
So it's
Yeah,
just kind of a
couple
respect thing in that
yeah.
scenario.
Couple things for you. Do you write hands down?
No.
Got you. It's something definitely like, I would say anybody who's trying to improve their game, like it mandatory.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And just pull out the notes app and you
I
don't
think
have
I
to get
have a handful of, like before, but not on
okay.
a regular basis.
Yeah,
No.
and it's something it's a good idea. It's a great idea to do on hands that you like didn't play well,
Right.
hands that you lost,
Right.
hands that you're wondering what should I have done here, and like send them to me. Right,
Yeah.
I've got a group text of some guys, especially my buddy Tom and my buddy
Mhm.
Steven.
Mhm.
We've got like a group text where we
I
got
think I've played with Tom before.
yeah,
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 yeah.
and you definitely played with
And probably
Steven
Steven
before
too.
too,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And they're both super awesome dudes, great poker buddies and great players in their own right in very different ways.
Mhm.
Steven is mad aggressive, here to set your and his money on fire.
Yeah.
And Tom is like, for lack of a better term, like autistic when it comes to reading hands.
Yeah.
It's just like he's one of the best hand readers I know.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, like I was able, I put him on like this and this, and I really didn't think that he would play this good hand and this good hand this way. And he's right a lot more often than he's
Right.
wrong. And when he shows me the hands and he shows me the breakdown, I was like, you're just good. Like, I mean, it's something I have trouble like just like shedding hands from somebody's range like he can.
Right.
And something, would love to get better at, something that good players are
I
are
think,
very good
like, I
at.
mean, so I want to tie this into the opposite of losing, which is winning hands. But I think so. First, I want to know, like, when you two questions here. When you win hands, how do you regulate then? Because I find myself the trap to be, I win a couple of hands. One, maybe I played aces on the button and won it. I should win that.
Yeah.
Then the next time, maybe I played 7-5 from the big blind and I won it. And you start to get this like, oh, I know what I'm doing now. I got this.
Yeah,
And you
right.
and you suddenly like, I think you could have been playing so disciplined all the whole game, but then you kind of switch from like playing smart to playing, I deserve this. I'm just
For
good. I'm just good at
sure.
this and I
Yeah.
can't be beat. And that's kind of when things start to go wrong. And then at the same time, I wanted to ask about actually, let's just start there.
Okay, got you.
So how do
So
you, yeah, how do you not let wins get to your head?
got it. Okay. So one thing I've in the last year I've said to myself is like when you get a big stack, it'll happen to everybody. When you just get like a fuck ton of chips, like all at once, right? One thing I've said in my head is like be cool, right? Be back to earth. And like another thing is
Even though you're
you
always
are the phrase, yeah,
stacking chips with
yeah,
shaky ass hands
yeah,
when you win a big
exactly.
pot every
The
time.
the phrase I say to myself is you're renting these chips. You are renting these chips, right? And we're still in this seat. These chips are still absolutely in
I
play,
wonder how the game would
right?
change if it was bills.
Yeah, oh,
Because
absolutely, like, seriously,
psychologically,
yeah.
when you see a chip
Have
versus a bill, I think we disassociate from the
oh,
value.
absolutely, 10 million
Yeah.
percent. Whoever, like, so there was a famous quote that said, "Whoever invented gambling was smart. Whoever
Mhm.
invented chips was a
Yes.
genius."
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like,
Very much detaches you from the value of
y
what you're playing with.
yes, and you just throw them around and like it, like it's
Fucking
nothing,
slots, it's
and
a damn
people
paper receipt voucher, dude. Like,
yeah,
it's nothing.
seriously, yeah. Seriously, so that's one thing is just saying that phrase in my head, like, "You're renting these." Like,
That's a good motto, mantra, kind of remind I'm
you're
renting these
renting
chips.
these.
Yeah.
These are gonna go.
Mhm.
Like, be prepared for it. And look, it's gonna happen, and it sucks. But like, just be grounded in that. It's like, hey, it's fine. Like, this is the stack that we've got. This is the stack we're showing up to this next hand with. Let's just be on top of this situation.
Mm,
Like, I think that's something really, really good to stay grounded about.
mm,
Another thing though, I would say, like, what kind of tilts me the most now is like when you have a good hand, when you have a good value hand and you don't get value from it. Like, you
mhm,
get somebody to make a big fold,
mhm.
right? And that's like what I said, like, you make the most amount of money from your value hands,
Right.
from your good hands. And so when when you to me when I like make, a bet that's too big, or bet or make a raise that gets somebody to fold, like, I'm thinking, I was like, I lost money there,
Mhm.
right? That's money that you're supposed to get. Like, there's a worst hand that's supposed to call you and you didn't
Right.
do that. And that's really kind of where I'm at now, where it's like, what did I do wrong
Mm.
there, right? And most of the time it's just like sizing too big.
Yeah. Okay.
And most of the time it is just like size, because I do just tend to size big.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's just like sizing too big, and it's like you scared them off, right? And the best thing you do is just be mindful of that next time,
Yeah.
right? And just
I think sometimes it's like I think this is something most people that don't play probably wouldn't like, it would be like, "What?" But I think flow state is something that
absolutely,
happens in
yeah.
poker because and I think it's similar with chess too. I think something I've started trying to, like, to get better at chess over the
Oh,
last, like, 6 months
interesting.
or so
Okay.
because same reasons I got into poker. Poker, I was like, "This might help me to make better decisions in life and to be less fearful about the decisions I make and also get better at taking calculated risks," and things like that. Chess, the same thing. So what I've realized is that, like, I was saying this too, what hands am I trying to get somebody to fold with my bet?
Yes.
Is that's the chess thinking. I'm not just thinking about you have to think because I think it's easy to like I have aces or I don't have aces, but I see an ace on the board and your vision narrows and all you can think about is that ace or a chess. The queen is put your king in check. Oftentimes your vision narrows so much that all you see is that danger and you don't realize I have a straight right now. Or something, like sometimes on the board you could have a straight, or all I have to do is move my knight and I got checkmate. But you're so focused on the fact that it's just like little shit that can happen that you get so scared that you don't like see you lose the big picture.
Yeah.
And I think that's like with that flow state, sometimes you kind of reach this point where it's just like you can feel each moment. I don't know. There's okay. So back to this is kind of twisted, but with the luck thing, I almost feel like we have this meter because I can feel it in my body sometimes when I'm in this level place and I'm almost just like almost like the jester, like I'm laughing, nothing really pisses me off. I'm carefree, I'm confident, I got this. And I just start ripping stupid hands and hitting big over and over and over
Yeah.
again. Like there's been multiple nights I've gone on huge runs. I'm sure you've gone on runs before where you were just hitting every fucking hand you played. You couldn't fucking lose. And you can't force those nights to happen. Those nights happen to everybody at some point, but you can't force it. And then honestly, when those nights are happening too, if you just start playing every hand, you are going to lose. So even then, it's like learning to ride. Oh, I caught a big wave. Okay, now how do I ride this big wave? Because if you get too cocky and go too high, you might fall and bust ass.
Right.
So even in those moments, it's like learning to ride that luck. And sometimes I feel like there literally is like a luck meter, and like I have to, like, keep the brain off because the moment I, like, "Oh, wait, I know what I'm doing," I make a mistake because I get it's like I start trying to control the situation because I think when you're all I'm saying lots of different things here, but when I think when you're getting lucky, you're not controlling. You were allowing what is to be, and things are just happening sometimes in your favor, and then, like, I think if you're getting lucky, if you be like, "Oh, I'm getting lucky, I must play my hands right," you start missing good opportunities because you stop playing stupid hands at the right time, but I feel like it's like this weird flow state thing where you just kinda have this, like sense of what to do, you know?
For sure, for sure.
And then there's other times I play where I feel like the meter's at 0 for months, and it doesn't matter what I do, how good I play, I just lose over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. And look, it happens to absolutely everybody. It is something. It's kind of a lame answer up front. Is that a lot of it comes with volume
Mm,
because it's like nobody's used to just making a shitload of money and then
right,
also like having like these chips to deploy. Right?
right,
Nobody's used to that. It's something that has to come
right. Practice.
with
It's a
time.
learned
Right?
skill.
Yeah, or not even skills. Learn luck.
Mm,
Right?
mm.
Really? Right? It's like I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, because like everyone's gonna have that night where you're just hitting everything.
yeah,
Right?
and
It's like
what do you do when you
how do
win a
you
lot of
make
money?
sure like
Yeah,
because every and then it happens to everybody that you have that big stack and then it goes down,
yeah.
right? That's going to happen to everybody. How do you make it so that you have that
How
big
do you
stack?
continue to skillfully put yourself in positions to keep getting lucky?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's something I don't know anybody who's just like I'm having a hell of a night. I'm going to take a flyer with this five deuce.
Right, right,
Right.
right,
And you know, you hit like a lot of times it's be like, yeah, this just is my night. Like I
right.
am just a god. But n- knowing definitely knowing where you're at and also like having a gauge of the table. That's another thing should say. Is like having a gauge of the table and having a gauge on your opponents.
Mhm.
One of the biggest things about poker is that everybody thinks that they're a great poker player. Everybody thinks they're great. And if nobody did, then nobody would play, right?
Yeah,
People don't play chess because they know they're not good.
yeah.
And the better chess player is supposed to win
Everybody at
most
the
of the time.
table thinks they have a chance.
Right. Exactly, and
They might
that's
not think
just
they're
true.
amazing, but they definitely think they have a good chance. They
And
think they have an equal chance to you.
exactly, or no, better chance,
Better
right?
chance, yeah.
Everybody thinks they're the best player at the
Yeah,
table,
yeah, yeah.
right? And everybody says like, "Hey, like I think this player is terrible,"
Mm,
and that's like, I'm sorry, that's generally true. That is generally true, but also like understanding why will
mm,
make you a better poker player. It's like why is this guy bad? What is he doing bad? Right? And what did he do that was bad?
right.
So one of the biggest things, one of the maybe one absolutely one of the biggest things I would say about like poker is when you go down, when you play poker and when you sit down and you're trying to play seriously, you pay attention to every hand. You pay attention to every hand that gets dealt, whether you're in it or not. And most of the player pool doesn't do that. At high stakes,
Mm,
tons of players don't do that. At
mhm,
the highest stakes in the world, there are people who are on their phones,
mhm.
right? Because it's like I know I have my GTO strategy that's not changing, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't need
Yeah,
to
yeah,
pay
yeah, yeah.
attention. But
I'm only
that's
playing cards based on my position, based on my GTO, based on
yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the a huge thing about poker, more than really any other game, is that most hands don't get shown.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
And you know, 80%, up to 80% of hands do not get shown. Maybe
yeah.
more sometimes, right? Do not get shown. Like, is somebody folds, so no one has to show.
Something I think I've learned and something I think you could just phrase it this way, a big mistake to make at the poker table is to sit down and go all in the first 2 hands unless you have, like, fucking aces.
I
Because
completely
you
agree.
kinda need to sit there for 20, 30 minutes and watch what's
Dude,
happening because I think you just imagine this, when you sit down, you're at a 0, like, your bar graph is at a 0 for each player, and with each hand, you watch them play a hand, you watch them bet. Even if you don't see the hand, you get a little you know, they start to go up a little bit
yeah.
because you get a little bit of information about how they bet, what they do, and then especially when you see hands, that's an even bigger jump of how much information you just got, and you wanna wait till you have, like, a decent kind of, like, spread of information about each player before you wanna
Absolutely,
start
yeah.
reacting to them because you don't know if they've been betting every fucking hand and you just sat down and they bet again, you're like, "Oh, they must have aces," and you fold, but if you know they've been betting every hand, you might play your 9-10 or
Yeah.
something because you know they just play shit.
Yep. One thing, it was like right at the start of 2024, I started getting back into poker again.
Mhm,
I just was kind of off during COVID and got back into it started 2024. One thing since then I've always done is to just kind of look and be like, hey, say one thing, not out loud. Let's say one thing about every player at the table,
mhm.
right? And just like one thing, like it doesn't have to be like, okay, this guy folds too much, or it's like, oh, I remember he played that, he showed down that
Try to
king
remember a
deuce.
hand he's played.
Right, yeah. Just go around and say like, and it's a good litmus test for me on just like how much am I, you know, present? How much am I
Right.
focused actually playing well? And another thing, like over time after saying that, it's like, you know, the first round or first couple rounds, if you're saying that and you don't have any, you know, reads or anything, and then after, you know, after a while, like be able to just one orbit around and be like, oh, yeah, I can say something about everything,
Mhm.
everybody at this table. Right.
Yeah, and I think too, like, so back to the losing thing. I feel the worst about losing when I don't know why I lost. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
So, like, when I played a hand, probably so, like, especially I think this is something that happens a lot more when you're early on in playing. When you thought you had a good hand, you played and you lost, and you don't know exactly what happened. Your mind doesn't want to accept that you might have made a mistake, so it's easy to just be like, "Oh, it was lucky." Da da da. And I think this is what my brain does, and I think is common. But you just kind of you don't want to feel the pain of having just lost a hand, so you just kind of shove it down. You categorize it as a fluke, and you move on, right? Which that maybe helps you to keep playing, but then also maybe you don't learn from your mistakes as well. Especially when I notice when I drink or smoke, I tend to do that way more. Like I don't learn as well from my mistakes because it's like, fuck, take another drink. That didn't happen. You just keep
Yeah.
moving. But I definitely think that like I just ran off the
It's okay. So, like, let's say that's a good example. So, like, let's say you had like aces,
mhm,
right? And I called you down with sixes,
right.
and I called your all in on the turn,
Mhm.
and then I hit a six on the river, right? Something like that. You know why you lost.
'Cause I didn't shove you pre-flop.
No, no, not at all, not at all. You played that absolutely ideal.
Some
You're like,
sometimes in that
no,
situation
no,
though,
like,
well,
look, you're
okay.
like you got it all in
Right.
good as
Right.
a you're as a 95-5 favorite,
Right.
right? That
I guess, yeah,
5% kicked
I
in.
guess you're right. If you call
That
me on the turn with no
5% kicked
6
in.
yet,
Yeah, that
you're right, you're
5%
right, you're right.
kicked in. And I would say that is something, you really like, you're gonna get it in good and lose a lot. Right? And
Right.
and that just happens. And
Mhm.
you're getting bad. You're gonna win sometimes, right? Don't let that get to your head
Right.
either, right? But that's something. Like if you like in that situation in particular, if you got it all in on the turn, there's nothing else
I
to do differently. Period. The end. Like you played that hand well. You played that
I
hand
think though
substantially better than me.
I think what I was
Like,
trying I'm gonna use chess because I think that's a little easier
okay,
example.
yeah.
If I move my bishop to this point, I can put him in check. I just think, "Oh, that's good. I'm putting pressure on, I put him in check." I don't look ahead to what you might do and then what I will do and then what you will do. Because
Yeah.
the important thing with chess is not what do I do next, but what does that provoke? What because you're trying to think multiple moves ahead. And so I think that's expansive thinking, not being caught in the short term. And I think same thing with like poker is like the hands that I felt worse in were the hands that I didn't think ahead. I thought only one step. I didn't think two or three steps. And then the two or three steps came and I was like, oh, I didn't even bother trying to plan ahead to see like this was so obvious but
Yeah.
I never thought about it. I got so excited about the small, you know what I mean? You get so narrow focus and I want to make a couple quick ties into life. I really like your mantra since you were saying I'm only renting these chips because I think that's the same with this body. I'm just renting this body.
I never
Like
thought of that.
we
I
are just
love
renting
that.
this. Like this is
Yeah.
not everything. Like I'm just renting this life. I'm renting this experience. This is a temporary thing. It's not meant to be forever. Let's just do the best I can with it. Be the best steward I can of it, and use it wisely. Don't take stupid risks, but we're going to still take risks. We're trying to win. But I think that helps a lot with kind of bringing it down. Just reminding. In addition, we're renting these ships. I'm also renting just this whole experience. Um, Definitely a big part of being human, I think. And then also what we were just saying. Um, I've lost the other point, but anyway.
No, it's good. I like how much I like how much you like this game. And I remember when I first played with you, like took a bad beat and like didn't take it that well.
The first
Like,
time I played with
yeah,
you,
the very
yeah.
first time. And it was something I was like, hey, no, this is a cool dude. Like, and we stayed in touch, right? Got
First
your
time I played with you was at Texas Card House.
no, it was at my buddy Neil's house.
I'm pretty sure I met you at Texas Card House or Shuffle one night.
I'm
Because I
fairly
went there. It was
confident.
the first time I went to a card house. I don't think we got to know each other, but
Okay.
I think it was an introduction. I think that was
Oh,
it.
okay. Maybe
I
okay.
think I could be
Maybe
wrong.
I don't recall that one at
I
all.
could be wrong. I
Um,
don't think we really knew each other then, but I
yeah,
think it was the first introduction. And then I think I kind of got to know you at the Neil's game, and then I think you came to the home game over here,
yeah.
and then I think that's when we kind of like really got to know each other better. But
There
anyway,
was there was one time that there was one time early on that like I invited you to the card house
mm-hmm,
and we played together. And I remember there was one time I called a guy down with King High
mm-hmm,
and was right.
mm-hmm.
And he was just like, how do you call that? And you were just like, yeah, how do you call that? And that was I don't I don't usually do that. I don't
Right.
really do that often. I guess I just had to read on this guy. But I was you're always very proud of those, calling something
That
down
is
when it's
that
right.
is that is one that irritates me the most, is that, like, I feel like veteran I think that's something that has to come with time, because you can study all you want, but it's only your thousands of hours of playtime that you have this esoteric wisdom of poker that allows you to make those calls
Yeah.
sometimes. Like, you can't explain to me why you did that. You did that because you've seen so many hands and you felt this particular scenario and it felt a certain way to you,
Yeah.
and you made a decision based on a feeling.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because that's not really something I think you can do it off statistics all you want, but yeah, no. More often than not, I think it's
It's
based off a feeling.
it is. Do you have any big hero calls like that that you've ever made?
Not that
Something
come to
something like
mind,
that.
no.
The okay, gotcha. Is and just something like that when you made like a call like that and you were
I
just
feel like every
right,
time I've
like
tried to make a hero call, I was wrong.
yeah, no, it happens. Like it
I'm not
happens.
usually right on my hero
Seriously,
calls.
like
Yeah,
for for every one of those king high right calls,
right.
there's 12 like
Certainly not on a monster hand, you
yeah.
know? Yeah.
But like it's dope. Like when it happens, it is something in the long run. Like it's kind of you just kind of tell yourself, don't do that. Like
Yeah.
don't like just don't like pick a better spot.
Right,
Like
right. Well,
the
that's
king
again
high.
back to the beginning thing of, I think, like, you're trying to use skill to, like, put yourself in the right position to be lucky, you know what I mean? You don't wanna put yourself in positions where your luck is not, your percentage is lower, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, you're, small blind, you're playing for a much slower percentage versus playing on the button with a
right.
premium hand or whatever, so
Well, is there a part of your game that you say that you are particularly weak at right now?
I
Something.
wanna say it's probably just mostly the emotional aspect. It's
Oh,
not
really? Okay.
it's staying out of the creating a narrative about the person playing against me, and I whether it's in person or not, like, I'm always like, I'm probably thinking too much about the psychological tells and trying to read and trying to think that I have some smart brain that can pick this apart rather than just what is the story they're telling with the bets? You know what I mean? Because,
Right.
like, I think too often I'm trying to be too smart versus, like, did they bet? Did they see bet? Just believe they fucking have it. Stop trying to assume that
That's
they're, stop trying to make a hero call and be like, I'm gonna get you with my whatever. I would say that's probably my biggest thing is, yeah, being too emotionally driven and reactive with my betting.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I'd say one thing you can do about that is just paying attention. I mean, of course, just paying attention more attention to how they play their hands,
Hmm.
but also the biggest one is when hands are shown down,
Yeah.
right? Because like 80% of hands never
The
get
more I
shown
play
down.
that, the more and more that's become important, because
Is
realizing
it,
I need to see hands.
it's one thing like when about paying attention to every hand and like when you get shown when hands get shown down, that is an absolute cornucopia of
That's why
information.
sometimes I'm realizing
It's
calling somebody down is solely because I need to see a hand, because they haven't
it's
shown a hand in 50 hands. I need to see what this is so I can, like, add it to my information block. I'm pretty sure I lost, but I need to know what they had.
right. And it's something I try to do. Like when when hands get shown down, just try to go through the hand again,
Mhm.
right, in your head, and that's something you pick up a lot from doing just that.
Watch the story.
Just yeah, because like, you paid attention to every hand, and so, like and you don't have to have, like, every detail down, like, he raised to 25 and he
Right, right,
re-raised, but,
right,
like, just knowing it was like, hey, it was bet, call,
right,
flop, ace high, bet, check, check,
right,
turn, check, check, river, bet, call, he had an ace, right? He
right.
was slow playing an ace that time.
True.
And so, it's things like that and having those pieces and making sure you're doing your part
Yeah,
to have those pieces
right.
to, to try and be able to, play against somebody to try and outplay him
No,
and
I agree.
not get outplayed.
Right. Shit, dude, I know you brought your stuff.
Yeah, you
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 wanna
down?
play some?
Yeah, do you wanna
Shit,
play
fuck it.
some? Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Do you wanna give this a shot?
Yeah, let's do it,
Do you
dude.
want